What's good, guys? I'm Jon the Chief, and for this video, it's gonna be on 3 things I wish I knew when starting Dying Light to stay human. Because I'm pretty far into the game now, almost beating it, and all I'm thinking about is how I've made a lot of stupid mistakes at the beginning of the game that if I just fixed it a little bit, my experience would be a whole lot better. So, let's get right into it. First one is gonna be buy scrap every time you're at a merchant or craftsman, because it costs 1 gold per scrap, and you're gonna need a lot of these, and a lot of these craftsmen and traders hold 20 to 30 scrap. Every single time you go see them, you go buy it. It's worth the gold because this is used in basically every single modification and upgrade that you have. All your blueprints, besides any medical ones, are going to be using at minimum of 10 scrap. Every single time you throw a Molotov, 10 scrap. You want to use the boomstick, that's 100 scrap. And you are going to be burning through this faster than you can actually go out and scavenge for it. So what you want to do is that every single time you go to a merchant and you see one, quickly buy him out of all his scrap, maybe feathers too if you're doing a range build, weights or batteries or any electronics if you are doing a one-handed build, and then you're gonna go on your merry way. It takes 5 seconds, but trust me, it adds up because scrap is basically what stops you from being able to get some nicer weapons. And since it's so cheap, it's better to have it and not need than let that be the reason why you're struggling progressing through the game. Next up is invest in agility. When you get your inhibitors, do not go for health right off the bat. I know it sounds really helpful and you get all these cool combat skills, but the parkour is the key to this game. There are so many activities within the game that are actually gate-kept by your stamina, which you need to increase with the inhibitors. A lot of these actually require 300 stamina in order to be able to complete the activity, so you're gonna need to level up it a lot in order to get that stamina, and if you keep putting it all towards health, you are not gonna be able to do a lot of fun things in the game. And also, health is actually not necessary. If you have good enough gear and you actually get good enough at the parkour, you can avoid getting hit by most of the zombies without even trying. Just learn where to block and parry and dodge, and then you are good to go. That health is only going to be useful for getting your combat skills, but at the end of the day, would you rather have more ways of fighting enemies or actually get the chance to do these activities where you fight the enemies? You might as well be going for stamina at the very beginning until you get around 300. You can put a few here and there into health, but trust me, you do not want to be under stamina for these activities because a lot of them really are timed, so you will run out of stamina before you reach the top if you don't have enough. And the last tidbit of information that I wish I knew when starting Dying Light 2 was invest in the same upgrades. You do not want to go a little bit into every single elemental tip upgrade because it's actually not worth it in the end. To have just a little bit of all of those at a decent level, it's better to just have one that you really like, say the spark modification, and you just level that up a ton, so that way all your weapons will get that and it will benefit. There are no enemies so far within the game that are immune to a certain element, so you need to change the modification that you need or have a weapon with a different modification. You don't need that diversity, so it's actually best to just invest all of your infected trophies into leveling up just a select few of blueprints, so that way you can get the most out of your weapons, especially with the durability one, because if you are ignoring this one, your good weapons, your artifact weapons are gonna break and you'll be unable to use it, but you level up the durability enough and you won't have to worry about that. So it is very important to actually be investing in the right blueprints and only those. You don't need to diversify so much. You don't need to go into the lockpick blueprint, that is useless. You don't need to go so far into the medkit blueprint if you are actually playing safe and you're at low health anyways. You don't need to go into a lot of these, the throwing knives, the Molotovs. You don't need to go so deep, just go for the ones that are actually going to be useful in the end, because they rise in damage a lot, very fast when you start leveling them up. The boomstick goes all the way from 80 damage a shot with one bullet to craft, all the way to 480 damage per shot with 4 bullets in the barrel when you get to the second last upgrade. So it is so important to actually be investing into these blueprints and actually trying to get the select few maxed out before you start diversifying, because when you're going through the game, having these super high overpowered blueprints is gonna save your life, definitely, when facing the tougher enemies. And that is the 3 pieces of information I wish I knew when starting Dying Light to stay human. Hope all of you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and have a good day.